Yeah. Hello, we're live again. Welcome to the Azure and AI Show. With me today is Joseph, and we might have one or two other guests join us as we go through the show. Joseph is going to do some slides on the MS 102, the second part, and this is also, if you want to catch up on it, it's on Joseph's YouTube channel there as well. If you want to catch the whole lot of those slides. I'll do some stuff there with Copilot Studio as well, some of the new things coming up. So, Joseph, do you want to share your screen with us?
All right, so thank you, Frank, for this opportunity again. I'm just going to share my screen now. Okay, going to do this. Okay, so I can see that my screen is up now. Frank, can you confirm that?
And just a second there now. The screen is up, but it's just black. It's not, can't see any text on it.
Okay, so let me see. Oh, maybe let me turn this video off. So is it up now, Frank, or I should stop sharing and share again?
Stop sharing and share again, I'd say.
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, I can see that there now, MS 900.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Frank. So today, everyone, good evening from here, and we are very happy again to continue where we stopped the last week. So we are looking at the MS 900 Introduction to Microsoft 365. If you look at the MS 900 series, the second module is actually dealing with the introduction to Microsoft 365. So last week we defined cloud as accessing computing services over the internet. That's cloud computing. And then we spoke about the deployment models. We said there are private, public, and hybrid model. And then we also spoke about the service models, which are the software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service, commonly known as PaaS, um, um, commonly known as SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, right? And then we made mention of instances where people need to go for public cloud and the need for people to adopt sometimes hybrid cloud, and why we also spoke about private cloud and the flexibility around all of them. Then we spoke about the consumption based model, right, of the public cloud. So today we are going to be dealing with this second one, right? So I'll just open it. And what is it about really? It is speaking about Microsoft 365. So now to break things down, right? Microsoft 365 is first of all under, when you talk about the deployment models, it is classified under the public cloud. And then if you talk about the service models, it is classified under software as a service model, right? So it is a software as a service, and then it is classified under public cloud. So we shall just continue to see what we have in that module. Now, by virtue of introduction, what is Microsoft 365? So for you who have heard a lot about this term, Microsoft 365, Office 365, And then sometimes you kind of imagine if there are differences between them, right? Today, you should be able to know before the end of this class that there are differences between Microsoft 365 and Office 365. So, by virtue of definition or explanation, Microsoft 365 is a cloud powered productivity platform that combines the familiar apps that you know. It combines the Word, the PowerPoint, the Outlook, Excel, just name them, right? With intelligence security, device management, and powerful online services. So, this intelligence security is something that you need to take care of when we talk about, or you take note of when we talk about M365. So it is designed for modern work, and M365 supports secure collaboration, talk about communication across both desktop, the web, the mobile devices, and it helps you stay productive everywhere you go without cutting off your work. So you can work from your mobile phone, you can work from your PC, you can work from your tablet, and with the help of Microsoft Graph, all these are synchronized to speak to and update on each of those applications. Microsoft 365 is actually very brilliant, flexible, it is scalable, right? And then it meets the evolving need of individual organization, especially today that we are talking about work from home, right? Or flexible working. M365 has been able to provide solution a lot to people. So just to quickly summarize what M365 is, it is actually a cloud-based software as a service classified under the public cloud, which integrates both the traditional application and collaboration apps like Teams, SharePoint, and the rest, OneDrive, just name it, while carrying intelligence security and device management along. And because of that, it is a cloud base. You can access it on different devices. M365 for business and enterprise. So there are classes. So when you hear the word M365, there are classes for business and there are classes for enterprise. And it is just mathematics and size of organization that truly can be used to differentiate between a business and an enterprise. So a business is an organization that has less than 300 employees, while enterprise are those organizations that have more than 300 employees. So for business and enterprise users, and it is actually a shared service, right? So organization, because it is a public cloud. There are core services that you can find when using M365, and those are the traditional office applications, which are the Word, the Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Email and calendaring services coming from Exchange, right? It will give you Outlook, it will give you Exchange Online, right? Then for file storage, you can talk about OneDrive for personal files and then SharePoint for the file that belong to a team. So you talk about teamwork and collaboration, then you are talking about Microsoft Teams and SharePoint. You can talk about Viva Engage, right? Viva Engage is like a social media, like the normal Facebook that you have, but this is an organization built and limited within the organization, but a lot can really be done within Viva, especially Viva Engage, right? Then secure AI chat, the Microsoft Copilot now is also integrated there. The Copilot chat which comes with it for free, you don't need to pay. So if you want to go for the M35 Copilot, then you talk about license. But if you have once you have Microsoft 365 subscriptions, then you are going to have free Copilot chats integrated into it. So, but for M35 Copilot is actually an add-on to the base license. Security, compliance, and identity management is part of it. So, if you talk about security, you're talking about Microsoft Defender. If you talk about compliance, you're talking about Microsoft Purview. If you talk about identity management, you're talking about Microsoft Entra. And then you can also talk about device management, which is the MDM, mobile device management, which is speaking strictly to Intune. So all of these are the core services that you can find in the M365 space. And then this service, what will be available to you because it's a service, is a subscription based module, depends on your subscription, really. Right. So a seamless work across devices like we mentioned, and then the role of Microsoft Graph. So what happened is that Microsoft Graph is actually like it's actually a binder, I would say. It's like a web binder. So that makes you, just to give a summary before we even go into Microsoft Lendo. So what this does is it helps the system understand your activities, right? Like your emails, and then it integrates your applications across themselves, in the sense that when you send a file from SharePoint, then somebody gets an email in Outlook to say a file has been shared with you, right? So that intelligence is from the Microsoft Graph, right, which monitors the synchronization and the handshake between these applications, right? And then it also handles your permissions. So it checks to know what permissions you actually have. Let's say a user shares a file with you, and then he said they should have limited view. What it means is that, or restricted view. What it means is that you should not be able to download that file, right? So Microsoft Graph is intelligent enough to know that the access you have on a particular file shared with you from SharePoint, and then an email was sent to you in Outlook to notify you about the file, right, is actually giving you this permission level. And that's why if a file is shared with you, even on Teams, you could get an email. So if you get a missed call on Teams, you get a notification in Outlook to say you have a missed call or you have a voicemail. So that integration is actually what Microsoft Graph is there to do. So we say Microsoft Graph is actually a a gateway to reach people-centric data and intelligence in Microsoft 365. So M365 learns from users and then collect insight through Microsoft Graph by analyzing the data activities of the user across all the products and services. So through this, Microsoft delivers enhanced experience that continually improve over time. So Microsoft Graph is learning your activities. So Graph plays a very vital role in M35 Copilot, because when a response is queried from a user, right? So through grounding, right, the LLM understands the prompts at the very basic level, right? Understands the prompts, and then before it responds to the requester, it has to go consult the Microsoft Graph first to know if the level of permission you have on that file before it can release it to you. So Microsoft Graph plays a very vital role in Copilot. So this is an AI powered product. I mean, the Copilot is AI powered product, right? That you can leverage in M365. So Microsoft 365 Copilot is powered by LLM, right? And utilizes your data from Microsoft Graph, right? And then integrate with Microsoft 365 application service and services. Then the component empowers M365 Copilot to provide real-time intelligent assistance and recommendation to enable users to enhance their creativity. Now, I want to bring up something. All these are just a lot of theoretical descriptions. So I want to paint something on the very, very surface to show you how this works. It's and this user, okay, so I hope I'm back now. I know I had a glitch. So let's say this user is trying to query Copilot here, right? Is querying Copilot. Just to tell you what Microsoft Graph does. If a user is querying Copilot for information, Copilot does not just go back to respond to the user with the access of what he wants. No. So what happens is that when Copilot responds, the LLM, right, the large language models help the Copilot to understand what this guy is requesting for, right? And then when it breaks it down through grounding and understand what it is saying, before, let's say for example, what is the employee entitled to, is asking Copilot here. Copilot will understand the guy's prompts by using the large language model to understand what the employee number of days a leave, I mean, number of days a user or an employee has as kind of leave, annual leave, right? Before Copilot will give response to this guy, it would have gone to Microsoft Graph to inquire the permission this guy has on this site. It goes to check what level of permission does this guy who is asking for this data have on this SharePoint site. If the guy has at least the read permission before this information can be passed to Microsoft Graph, Microsoft Graph itself helps to manage that permission to avoid data oversharing, right? Just so when you hear the word Microsoft Graph, you should know that it is an intelligent tool that really helps to like unite or integrate the whole of the system, right? So just take note of that. So large language models are the engine that drive Microsoft 365 Copilot, and we must be aware of that, right? So they help Copilot understand your requests, right? Then understand that prompt that you are providing, and then helps you with human-like answer. So before it can provide these human-like answers to you, it must go and consult um, the Microsoft Graph to confirm that you have the required access that you are truly prompting for. So that said, we'll just go to the next one, and this is about describing the differences between Office 365 and Microsoft 365. A lot of people mistake these, and in exams, this throw people off balance. And I'll just quickly mention this before we move on, before we even look at what Microsoft has in that document. So, for example, if you have for those who did mathematics, right, there's what's called universal sets. All right. Frank, please confirm that you can hear me, please.
Yeah, yeah, Grant.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So for those who did mathematics, there's what is known as universal sets. So universal set is actually used to handle all sets, right? While the there's what is called subsets, right? Subsets are actually sets within a universal set, right? So here, for example, is the universal set. That means everything inside of here, right, belongs to the universal set. Now, what I will quickly do is you look at this, right? Look at this as Office 365. Office 365. And because it's Office 365, so it contains your traditional Office application like Word, like PowerPoint, PPT, let's just use PPT. Then it's also contain Excel, then your productivity or collaboration tools like Teams, like OneDrive, right? Like SharePoint. All of these are inside your Office 365 as a package,
Can
right?
you just
All of these are inside.
are you actually writing inside in that box, Joseph?
Oh, it's very small, right?
All I can see is just a square box inside
Hi,
the.
Frank.
Yeah,
Okay, so let me just quickly stop sharing and maybe share again.
yeah. Might refresh it then. Yeah.
Okay, where is my guy here? Okay, I want to present again.
Yeah, I can see that there now. Yeah,
So, Frank, let me know what you can see.
yeah, I can see the
Okay,
Office
cool, cool.
365 inside in the
So,
box. Yeah,
okay, so this is Office 365, right?
yeah.
365. And this universal set is Microsoft here. That's the universal set. Now, inside of the inside of of these sets, which is not part of the O365, we have EMNS. EMNS is Enterprise Mobility and Security, right? So, and then we have Windows 10, Windows Windows 10 slash 11. So, what is here is mathematically speaking, M365 is equal to O365 EMNS, Enterprise Mobility and Security, plus Windows 365, Windows 10 slash 11. So is a subset of Microsoft 365, right? So if you are using O365, you are using a subset of Microsoft 365. So for Microsoft 365, you have both everything contained in O365 So you have everything contained in M365, everything contained in O365 plus Windows 10 slash Windows 11. I'm really seeing from the screen that my connection is struggling. Frank, can you confirm that you can still hear me?
Yeah, everything is going okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's just it. So let's now come back to that document, and I'm very sure that it's now going to be clear when we read through it. So this is saying that we should describe the differences between Office 365 and Microsoft 365. So really, the difference is what we just go to look at. Office 365 is a cloud-based service that include apps such as Word, Excel, OneNote, and all of it, with services such like so the apps and these services, SharePoint, Exchange, Teams, OneDrive, these are what is there, right? But for Microsoft 365 is a cloud-based services that include everything in Office 365 in terms of apps and services. And what now makes M365 different from O365 is the fact that it has Windows 10/11 and then enterprise mobility and security as part of that package. So I'm saying this because of those who will be writing exams, like, and you're going to have this kind of question. So enterprise mobility and security is a mobility management that security platform that help protect and secure your organization and empower your employee. So that's if you're talking about what is even EMNS, right? So the platform include Microsoft Entra ID, formerly known as Azure Active Directory, and especially Microsoft Intune that comes with EMNS. We should be aware of that. So Microsoft Entra provides a complete identity and access management, the IAM in M365, and then with integrated security, right, with it. So you need to be aware of that. And it also comes with Windows 10 slash Windows 11 when you talk about M365 as a service. So just to quickly come back here to summarize, M365 is the universal set, which is a so let's just quickly go to the next one. And that's about the Microsoft 5 empowers people, right? So we've spoken about this already. With your M365, really, you are really connected with your users on the go, whether you are on the mobile phone, whether you are on your iPad, whether you are on your PC, you are going to be connected. And through the power of Microsoft Graph, you will have the real time updates across all your devices. So you're not going to lose anything in terms of access in one device and not working on the other device. So the intelligence of Microsoft Graph would make it cut across all platforms that you are using. I mean, all devices that you are using to access your M365 or your Office 365 services, as the case may be. So devices can be centrally managed, right? So the cloud with customizable security settings, especially when you're using M365, app controls, compliance requirements, helping IT maintain oversight while supporting flexible, secure environments while you work. So there are admin centers where all can be tracked in terms of compliance, in terms of security, right? So we'll go to the next one, really. So if you look at these presentations, I mean the document, you would really find out that there are a lot, right? So this is describing how Microsoft 365 Copilot unlock a new way of working. So if you are using if you are using Microsoft 365, just because you have M365, you would have access to the Copilot chat, which is free, right? I think this part really needs a lot of consideration. I mean, discussions, right? So in today's fast-paced world of work, we all want to spend more time on tasks that are actually inspiring, solving problems, sharing ideas that make impact. So too often our days are filled with repetitive tasks, and that's why the AI is now the talk of the town. So Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. First of all, you start with Copilot Chat. M35 Chat is Copilot Chat is the cross app that chat experiences are central of M365 Copilot. So it serves as an AI-powered go-to chat for everyone who is M365. It is powered by ChatGPT 4, and then the uses the large language model, right, to understand the prompts that are coming from users, and uses Microsoft Graph to understand the permissions that users need to have on those queries that they are demanding, right? So with web grounding capability, Copilot Chat helps you to work smarter, definitely. Whether you are summarizing content, brainstorming ideas, or writing code or doing anything, Copilot is going to do that for you. So if you hear the word grounding is actually is the data that the AI uses to do what you ask it to do. So web grounding means Copilot Chat is grounded in data from the public web in the Bing search. That is if you are using web grounding. But if it's within your organization, you can just simply say grounding. But even after grounding, yes, data oversharing is well handled, right? So while Copilot Chat is powerful tool that helps everyone in your organization work smarter, faster, M35 Copilot is full featured. So this time we're just trying to see how we can differentiate between the Copilot chat on the surface as a matter of considering the MS900 series to know that Copilot chat is the lightweight, I would say, while the Copilot M35 Copilot actually is a feature, feature rich. So best in class personal assistant for work. So it includes everything, right, that Copilot chat offer and more. So I would say that again, you can also see just the same way you related this, you can also see Copilot as so you can really say that the Copilot chat is a subset of the universal set, which is the M35 Copilot, because the M35 Copilot contains or can offer more than what the Copilot chat can. So, for example, I have a tenant. Just before I wrap up this particular discussion, because the next thing we're going to do is to just look at the module assessment and then we can wrap up, right? So I will just try to go into my office.com now. I'm also trying to open it. So for this one, I'm opening it. I do not have license for Copilot, but for this other one, I have license. So So I see that when my web pages are loading, my connection is a bit impacted, but I'll just refresh again. So what I'm just trying to do here is for us to see the differences between the co-pilots and co-pilot charts, right? M35 Copilot and the Copilot charts. So let me check this other one if it's ready yet. I'll just quickly come here and bring up this. All right. So if you look at this, right, you will see that I have work and I have web, right, in this particular one. So where I will have work and web license. So for the other one, let me look for it quickly. I think it should be fully loaded now. Where are you? Yeah, for this one, I don't have the work and web here. So this is the M35. This is the co-pilot chart that comes with every organization that has the M35 subscription. So it's still loading, but if I want to query it to say something about my calendar, let's say it should just go into my mailbox to check the emails that I've not attended to, right? So check the emails I have not attended to. So what happens here, right, is going to tell me that it does not have access to my mailbox, right? That I should specify. So this is going to give me an error. I mean, it's not like going to give me an error, but it's not going to give me the response I need. The reason is because this is not working with the Microsoft Graph to understand to understand what is happening across my applications, right? It is not integrated with it. So this is just only focused on the chart base, so it's not going anywhere. So if I do this, for example, you would see that it is not going to give me stuffs anywhere. So it tell me I can't access your email, but I can help you find out. Let me zoom in a bit and so you can see it. So it's saying I can't access your mailbox, right? But I can help you figure out what email you haven't attended to if you can provide one of the following: a file like a CSV or Excel export of your inbox, a screenshot of the email, a list of the email subject or sender you want to review. So this guy is limited to only chat. It does not have the handshake with my M365 application because it is Microsoft Graph is saying that it does not have that level of access to my mailbox, right? So if I want to do another one to say what is my calendar for the day, calendar for the week, I'm also copying this, right? So if I do this, it's not going to go anywhere because it is just the chat bot. This is the free version. What is it saying? I can't access your email or organize your week schedule if you want, right, or something related. This is because this is the co-pilot charts. So what am I saying? It is the co-pilot charts, right, that I have here. But the M365 Copilot, the Microsoft 365 Copilot is the Copilot chart plus other stuff. So I will minimize this and then let's repeat the same prompts here. Now we'll try the first prompt. The first prompt is saying check my emails and check the emails I have not attended to. So if I do this, it will go cheat and then it will come back with a different result entirely because this time there is handshake between them, right? So let's just have it come back. So you already can see that it is going into my mail, and then it is coming out with result to say you have several unread emails that may need your attention. Here is a summary of the key theme and the action steps you can take. Is still bringing them out. So I may just stop it at this point because it's taking too much, because I have a lot of emails I've not attended to on this mailbox. So you can see that with the same prompt, right? Check the email I have not attended to. So it's bringing up all of this, summarizing the details because it has access to my mailbox. But the Copilot chat is not so because it does not have that permission. Now, if I put in the second one, the second prompt, I prompted that one that said, "What is my calendar for the week?" Let's see what this is going to do. So I also go ahead and stop this, right? Because I know I also have a lot of meetings. But what I'm trying to say is that you can see this. Okay, I will search for the meeting this week. You have 6 meetings scheduled this week. Today by 12 p.m. to 2, you had Microsoft Copilot and AI organized by this person. Tomorrow is Sunday, you have one TMCC project stream by 4 p.m. organized by this, and then it will just go on to separate them. But you see, remember the experience we had with this one. This one said, I cannot access your calendar directly. This is because Microsoft Graph does not give this guy permission to go there. So the only way you can get there is if he has the license requirement for M35. So with that explanation, I'm sure that you'll be able to differentiate between I want you to be able to differentiate here. I want you to be able to differentiate here. And that is one, the M365 and O365, right? Differences, and then the difference between Copilot charts and Microsoft 365 Copilot. Haven't said this, please. Just to wrap up, is the next one, that the good thing about the Microsoft chat is that you can respond to questions and nobody is going to flog you if you get it wrong. You can go back to it again. And what is this one saying? What is M365? A cloud-based subscription service that consists of apps and services such as this, then world-class security and more. So what this one is saying that is a cloud-based service that automatically creates a new type of Windows virtual machine, and this one is saying is a one-time purchase for innovation. So already we had said that it is a subscription-based module. So this is going to be the answer to this. So what's the next question saying? How many questions do we have here? The next question is saying, what is hybrid work? A work model that only support traditional in-person office work. And then this is saying a work model that only support remote offsite. Hybrid work is a model that supports a combination of traditional in-person office and remote offsite. Maybe this is the answer. So we'll just pick this. And then the next one is saying, what is the purpose of M365 in era of hybrid and flexible work? What is it? To limit employees' choice of workspace? I'm not sure that is it. To empower only information workers to work remotely? I'm not sure that is the answer. To provide digital tool for all workers to connect, collaborate, and be productive. This is the answer I'm thinking it is. Then what is M35 Copilot and how does it help users? Right. So a new social media platform developed by Microsoft, which is not looking like the answer. A new game developing, it is not. An AI powered tool, right? So we can submit this request now and see what we are scoring there. And this is saying that we'll have scored 100%. So this is based off on what we have seen. So it's not going to be like a separate thing entirely. So you can go to next, and when you go to next, that speaks more about the differences between Copilot and Microsoft 365. about what we have said already. So, for those preparing for exams, which is going to be the last day is 21st of May, for those who got Microsoft at 50 and CloudFest Challenge vouchers. So we use this to wish you well in your exam. And if you have questions that you want to ask the team here, we're always available. You can ask us, and I'll be happy to respond to your questions. So, Frank, that's going to be the conclusion of my session. I really apologize for taking too much time to treat this.
No problem. Well done. Well done. And anybody want to catch up with last week's one, Joseph has it on his website. And Amy Diamond is just after joining, and we have Stephen there as well. So, Amy, you want to share your screen with us? You're on mute there as well, Amy. And we use, yeah, cool. You have some new stuff
Frank,
for
can
us
you hear
today?
me?
Yep, we can hear you there, Amy. You have some new stuff for us today?
Frank?
So just share your screen with us there. So,
Yeah, but can you hear
yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, can hear you
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, we can hear you. Okay.
Okay, I'll remove my background. Maybe it will help. So I'll share something new that actually I found out y-
Okay,
today, and
cool.
I posted it on LinkedIn. So I'm clicking on share screen. Wait. Oh, here we go. Share screen. Entire. Okay.
Yep,
Are
I can see.
you? Do you
Yeah,
see my screen?
yep, can see your screen there now. Yep.
Okay. So as I mentioned, the Office 365 or the Microsoft 365 has a new interface, and as you can see, you have the search and the chat, and the agents, and creating agents, and the notebook, and you could also create all kinds of images, and you can pin here some apps. What I want to show you is two quick tips. First of all, um, I don't know if you noticed, but this microphone has started to appear, and it only appears actually when we're on the web. Oh, sorry, on before this microphone would not appear at all. Now it exists both in web and in work. And the cool thing is that instead of typing manually, let me know yeah, what is open for me today. What I can do is just dictate. So this feature exists in other Office applications like Word or Outlook. Now it's in the chat. I did not see it in the mobile, but what I can do is now uh, show me all of the open items I have today, including mails that are important to me. So what's even nice, I need to stop this, that actually corrected what I wrote. At first, it made this to mail, and it changed it to mail, mail, and it changed it to mail like a Outlook mail. But as you see, we can use the dictate to instead of typing, you can use your voice, and then actually it will let you well type it by yourself, and then actually you will see the prompt. The second thing I want to show you is actually a new feature that just showed up, and actually what I want to show you is it's possible to schedule prompts. That means that you can decide that if it's a very useful prompt, you want it to run once a day, once a week, or depends what day of the week and what time. So if you look at actually this prompt, if I go to the top or to the bottom, you will see schedule this prompt. You also hear this clock, which is scheduled this prompt. So here actually it tells you you will get the result on the Copilot chat. It actually will show it here in the conversation with a green dot. You can decide the repeating of the prompt from when does it start, at what time, what is the frequency, daily, weekly, or monthly, um, what days of the week, and you see changes here. So um, if I mark Monday, it will put Monday, and it also takes in consideration the number of times you want to run it. So the minimum is 1 time, and the maximum is 15 times. So if I take daily, and it will calculate actually 15 days from today. Today is the 14th of June, so until the 28th. This is the end of the repeating. As we said, we define where it will the results be. Um, when will it start? At what time? What type of period? What days? The occurrency. And once we click save, we will get to a status. Uh, Here you see all of my prompts that are scheduled. You see this is with a running. This is active. Also, these are active. And if you want to edit them, you can either run now or to turn it off or to delete it totally. So because we don't have time, I'll tell you that once if I run it, let's say for in the next 10 minutes, actually, and it's ready, I'll get the notification here with a green arrow. Um, Now, if I want to see the status of all of the prompts I have that are scheduled, I can go one by one and check each one of those. A second possibility is actually just to go to the 3 dots. And as you see, I have scheduled prompts, and here I can see everything. So instead of going to each one separately and editing the prompt, I can just go to the 3 dots and click edit prompt. Um, this currently I just received it today, and my user is a targeted release, so it's currently not GA or general available, but it should come to everyone, and hopefully you enjoy using both the dictation and the schedule when it gets to your tenant. I'm I'm through, and
Very
I
good.
pass it the microphone to the next person.
That's actually very
Okay,
good.
I mean that's a nice discovery, but I'm just thinking, what's the use case for scheduling of chat of prompts? I'm just thinking what the use case can be.
I suppose if you're out of the
To
office,
schedule a
or
prompt, let's say remind me to wake up every day at 7 in the morning, or remind me.
you can set an
What's
alarm
that?
clock like on your. You could set it as an alarm clock on your laptop to turn on or something like that.
Yeah, I think
No, but
I do.
anything you want to, any repetitive thing that you want to do, um, you can set a reminder instead of putting it in Outlook or setting a meeting or something. So, and you don't want to create an agent or something. So it's just something that you can um, an action you can do automatically.
Makes sense. Makes sense for morning tasks. Let's say, for example, someone comes to the
Seems
office
like the
to check
network is not that good.
pending emails, right? You can always write prompts. So just save that every morning. You just go check by 9 to see the prompts that I mean the emails that are pending your response, and you can just start from there. I think that can be a very nice use case for that.
Yeah. Stephen, do
Yeah.
you want to share your screen there with us?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I think I wanted to say about the prompt. I don't know what's just like what Joseph said though. So it might be like different people have like different reason if they really want to have make use of most of, like especially like here in the West House, you see that there's so much love it. So I can schedule my prompt. Oh wow, okay, that's it. At times some people do is to make life easy for them, and everybody with, I think, with different reason why they think they should maybe make use of it. And yeah, maybe it depends on maybe the customers also, when they complain to Microsoft, okay, let's give it to them, let's see how it goes. Yeah. All right, so good evening everyone. So I'm just going to share something briefly, which will take like just 10 minutes or thereabout. Let me just share my screen. Share screen. Okay. And, uh, okay. So I don't know. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So yeah. So what I just want to show, like just share this evening, is talk about the on the Microsoft 365 admin portal. So when you want to assign a role to uh, users, or want to assign a role to like an admin role, or for you to able to do their job. So when you come here, when you go to your admin, you come up here, you have your roles, and you click on your roles assignment. So now, before you assign that roles, just like if you come up here, we see like this is what the roles can do and things like that. So let's assume I want to assign a security role to someone. So if I come up here, security administrator, uh so if I come up here it's going to tell me that this is what the person is going to have control over: control organization security, manage security policy, review security analytics and reports, monitor the threat landscape. So here it's going to tell you. So, but before you assign that role to somebody, there's something that is called run as. So that run as make you to see how that role is going to work for that particular person before you can now assign the role to that particular user, which is known as the run has. So the run has make you to look at that role, how that role is going to work. Because at times in the industry, so people will say that, oh no, when you want to do this, oh, you give this person this role or this role. Somebody will say, oh no, is this role that will work out. So to just avoid such argument, that you just come before you even assign the role to that person, or if you have a test user, you can also apply to the test and see how it works. So you can come up here on the role here. Let's say I want to apply this security role, and then you now see run as. See, so this said view and test the admin center as a security role. So it will make you to view and see how the person you are going to assign that role to, how it's going to work before you now assign it to that particular fellow. So if I click on this one here now, it's going to take me to a different tab. So if you look at this environment here, I'm not in my admin environment, even though you are seeing as saying Microsoft 365 admin. But if you look at here, you can see you have exits run as. Okay, so then if you come up here, so you definitely know that this is what that particular person will have access to. Have access to users, guest users. But if you come to this user here, let's say, oh, somebody is saying, if you assign this role to this person, the person will be able to reset password. We'll come up here and click on it and see, can this person really reset password? So if you look at it now, you see there's no password reset. So it means that this role will not allow this person to, will not give that person access to reset password. So you can see password reset is not even there. You can only view, which is I think most of what this security administration role does at times. Things you can do and things you cannot do. So this run has makes you to look at this role. So if you come up here, show all. So this is what this person is going to have access to: security, Microsoft Purview, identity. You can see you can check the health, service health. You can come up here under where you have the domain, see some other things here. Here you can go to the settings, domain, the person can see, but they can't carry out, like you want to add a domain. This person cannot add a domain. This with this role, you can see there's no even space, there's no any option to be able to add that domain. So if you come up here again under guest, deleted guest, you can see deleted guest. So let's see if you can restore any deleted guest here. You see it's not able to uh, do that. So if you come to teams again, teams and group, you can view and let's see, can it create? No, it can't create. Okay, so that is one beauty of this because that is what I do. Like when I'm studying for, like presently I'm studying for my MS 102 exam. So at times when I read about the roles, I'll just come up here, then use the run house and then see what this person, what uh, access the person is going to have with such kind of role. So I think as that run has is actually very, very important. You can see it's showing you said run has security administrator. You can see it now. I'm highlighting it at the top there. Okay. So this is it allows you to do that. So you can see that this is what this person with that role has. So if I finish, I can come up here and say exit run has. It takes me back. If I want to I want to check, let's say Teams administrator, I can come up here and type my Teams administrator role and then come up here, click on it, and then click on my run as. You see? So when I click on the run as, you see, come up here, show all. You can see what the person has only to these teams. You can see if you come up here, users, active users, you see, you come up here, you can also reset password. You cannot reset password. The user, you can see them. If you come up here, you can check the report, the adoption score. If you come up here, the health, you can see the health service with this Teams administrator role. So this run has gives you that capability to check to see the roles, to see what this person will have access to, if that is what you really want the person to have access to. So before you can now assign that role to that person. Now that user, like I said, let's the first one I did now, I have a particular user here. So let me click on this. Sorry, let me go back to this first one I did, security administrator. So like I said, when you click on it, you click on run has. So we have seen that this is what this person has from this run has. Now let me log in with a particular user that I've assigned this role to see if truly this is what the person is going to see. So I'll just come up here. Let me click on my incognito mode, and then I'm just going to pick a particular user I have in my tenant. I'll just go to my admin. Yeah, and come up here. I'll log into that user. I just hope you allow me to log into this user and then put in the password. Yeah, I'll put in the password of that user, click on sign in, and then think my authenticator. Just gonna allow it to go in, put in the matching number. So, and I think that should take me in.
Can you
So,
explain what the compare role means? Does it also do something, the compare role?
sorry, say that again.
I saw there's run as and also compare.
Yeah,
What does the
I'm still coming
compare
back to
do?
that. Yeah, I'm coming back to that one now.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll also come back to that. Thank you, Finance. Thank you. I'm coming back to that now. So now, so if you come here now, this is show all. We can see that is the same
I
thing.
guess I
Look
guess
at
that screen is not the one you have here, so you may want to pull that over.
oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Let me see. Do I have to stop it and start again? So, uh, sorry. Okay, no, let me share my screen again. Sorry about that. So let me just share entire screen so it will be better that way. Okay, so I believe, can you see the screen now? Can you see my screen now?
I'm adding it already. Yeah, it should be up now. It's up
Okay,
now,
yeah,
please.
okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. So I just log in now with that particular user. So if you come up here, this is this user here. Let me go back to my admin tenant. Let me go back to this. So now can you see now this is the security administrator role. Can you see now this is what this person will have access to? Okay. If I go back to my tenant, I come up here, my user. So this is the user here, Ade Moses. He has this particular role, which is the security administrator role. You can see he has it there. So and you can see from run house, you can see this is what that particular it told us this person will have, and this is what it's actually having. So I log in with that user. You can see the active user. If you click on it, can it reset password? No, it cannot reset it. So now I've now applied that role to that user directly because I've seen what access this person is going to have by using that run as role. So you can see that. So this is what this person can see as a security administrator. Okay, so that's for that. Let me go back to my yeah. So this is my tenant back here. So if I go back to this my role, yeah, I was about to talk about that one. So this one, if you come up here now, let's say now we have compare roles. Now that compare roles now makes you to see which let you make you to see that, okay, like let's say if I have like security administrator, I have teams administrator, and I have report reader. I want to compare those three roles. I want to see what and what if I apply that role to someone, what and what that person can have access to. So I can simply come up here and compare to see if really what I want is what that person is going to be having if I give them that particular role. So here, let me say I have conditional access administrator, and let me come up here. Let me look for teams administrator. Yeah, this is teams administrator, and then let me open report reader report reader role. Yeah, report reader role. So now I've selected three roles. Now I want to compare them. So if I click on this compare roles here now, so you can see what is going to hold on. I think it's not showing me. Hold on. Sorry, let me go back. uh
Maybe you just pick closely related
yeah,
roles.
you
Maybe you
said.
just pick teams. Maybe you just pick closely related roles like
Yeah,
teams
let me do
administrator,
that.
teams
Yeah,
communication administrator, and maybe just go to teams and then you can see like three different roles under
yeah,
teams.
okay. Yeah, so let me just go to Teams. So let me do that one. Okay, so I have
So
Teams administrator, and
there's teams
then let me
communication,
use
teams communications, and then teams
Teams
telephony. Yeah.
communication and Teams. Yeah. So if I click on these three roles now, this particular three roles now, if I now click on compare, so here you can see now you have the Teams administrator, you have the Teams communication support, and you have the Teams communication support specialist. So if you click on here, you can see the permission they have. This one has read basic property on all resources in the M365 environment. The Teams administration has that. This has that. this one has that. So we can manage all aspects of Sky for business. The Teams administrator, we have permission to that. The Teams communication support engineer, we have access to that. And the Teams communication support specialist, we also have access to that. Then if you scroll down, you can see that this particular one, this is where is owned. Stop here. Can you see it now? So here, if you go down again, you can see the Teams administrator has more permission to do things than every other uh role person. So you can see, so that's what the compare role does. Okay, so it make you to compare, and then you can also export it. This is actually good for like if you need to explain something to people, maybe like in your team, so you can just export the comparison rule and then maybe send it as a PDF or something like that, so they can have it and say, okay, if the manager is comfortable that okay, I want to apply, I want to give this permission to this XYZ person, so are you comfortable with me doing that? So this is what this person will have. This is what this person will be able to do and everything like that. So yeah, so that is what the compare roles also does. So I think these are actually very handy. I find it very handy because especially if you are trying to just quickly test something before, if you don't want to apply it on the user, so you can test it and then see how it's going to work before you can now apply those roles to the users. So yeah, I think that's all I just have to say for
So
now.
yeah, Steven, I just want to make comment. Thank you so much for this exciting
Yeah, thank you.
exposure. So, but
Yeah,
just note that if you select up to 4 roles, you cannot compare. The compare option will be grayed out. So the maximum you can compare
it's
is
three.
3. Yes,
Yeah,
so that's just to mention. If you put the fourth one, the compare will go. And then
yeah,
for the run as, remember that if you're not a global administrator, you will not be able to do that.
yeah,
That's again something to mention.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, sure. Thank you for that.
all
Yeah.
right. Thank you. It's a
All
nice
right.
one, Steven. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone. Yeah.
thanks very much for that.
Is
Yeah.
is the run as a new feature, or it has been there for
No,
for
I
a
think
couple
I
of
think it
years?
has been there. Yeah, it has been there for a while. But people don't really. So I think I find it very handy for me because when I'm actually reading for my exam, so I just when they talk about a particular rule, I say, okay, let me just test and see how it works. If truly, yeah, yeah.
So,
So
Stephen, I think one of the things I have issues with the runners is it's only M35 admin center you can evaluate. It doesn't go across to other admin centers.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
another
That's
thing.
that's it. Yeah. Yes, yes, you're right. Yeah.
Okay, so well done. Nice one. I wish you success in your MS 102.
Thank you.
Yeah, so guys, we're kind of gone over the live, but we were broadcasting out through 4 LinkedIn channels and 3 YouTube channels and Facebook as well. So well done, guys, getting a big reach. So I'm just going to end the live stream. We'll be back here again next week. Thanks everyone for your input, Amy, Steve, and Joseph.
Yeah. Have a good week. Peaceful.